Let's go.
Yeah.
We are back for bowl.
He's a rookie. He's also half Puerto Rican. I don't know if y'all.
You already know what time it is.
Someone like Hayden Hurst is coming out and being like, look, you're not alone. On our show too, as well, we're all about mental health awareness.
Yes.
Off and on the field.
Surprise! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. But ladies and gentlemen, no, I do not look as amazing as my partner, my diehard, my road dog, Miss Janae Struther. She won't be with us tonight, but I got you because I'm in the hands of these lovely ladies. Welcome to Let's Talk Football, ladies takeover. But look, I need to stop talking because this is the women's show. And let's shout out one of my road dogs, one of the girls that has been behind the scenes doing everything under the sun, the host of Diversity with Delilah Crespo.
Woo! Yay! Welcome, Sean. Welcome to the women's show. It's gonna be a good night.
Absolutely. And hey, I see you down there, Miss Kate Alverson, Miss Michigan, Miss Detroit Lions herself, and Miss Conqueror of Cancer, my girl Katie Alverson. What up, girl?
Woo! Hello. And creator of this dynamic show, The Ladies Takeover. We need some ladies talking football.
Come on now. And last but most certainly not least, the Miss San Francisco, where's your disco? Miss, what is it? Kittle? What was the last thing you said about Kittle?
Kittle me this, kittle me that.
Hilarious. Our girl, Miss Nicole Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Hey.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. We missed you, and we're here.
Absolutely. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, as you see down there, we want to welcome you on this February 1st, the first day of Black History Month. Let's go. I love this. Don't know if y'all saw, but I put up on my my Facebook profile this morning. Happy Black History. Welcome to Black History Month. You're welcome. And yes. I'm not afraid to say how much. Hey, I love my community. I love my culture, and the amount of things that we've been able to contribute to this game, let alone, America and everything like that, speaks leaps and bounds. And I know, Delilah, we've talked about it. It's just a month, but at one point it was a week. At one point it was a day. So I'll take what I can get, but I'll talk about Black history every day of the year.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh
look,
yeah.
Yes.
Let's get into this because I'm here for my partner, but whenever Janae's involved, there always follows some drama. Let's get to that.
Ooh, ladies, we got to talk about some drama. Yes, Nicole, the drama of this week was insane. Ooh.
The drama of this week, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know about this segment, you need to pay attention, okay? Because we talk about all the drama that's going on in the NFL. And I think this first topic, I know it hits home for Miss Janae Struther, but it definitely hits home for all of us as well. And look, we've seen a number of these great quarterbacks that are definitely above average, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. And 3 names off the top of my head that have been spoken above every other: Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Dak Prescott. So I think we have to ask that question. And Delilah, I'll start with you. Will Lamar, Josh Allen, or Dak Prescott ever get a ring?
Oh man, Dak has a better chance. The reason I think that is because I think the NFC is not as competitive. It doesn't mean it's not a hard conference. That's not what I mean, because I don't get it twisted. But I do feel that the AFC is stacked a little bit more in terms of quarterbacks and just the levels that they play in. Like even CJ Stroud is a contender, and he just started. And that's the AFC conference. That's what I mean. It's just I feel like the AFC is a harder conference, in my opinion, to really top anyone unless you're Patrick Mahomes. So I feel maybe Dak has a little bigger chance.
Yeah.
So I feel it's going to be harder for the other 2 to get back in there. That's all. Just harder conference.
No, I agree. I mean, honestly, I can go to Kate. I'm coming to you. I can go to Josh Allen, but I might as well just leave him off because we know ain't nobody getting past Patrick Mahomes. And Lamar, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it. But I want to stick in the NFC. Dak Prescott. Everybody knows how I apparently feel. I think the guy is a great quarterback. I don't think he can get over the top. And I want to shout you out because we know how people talked about your quarterback, and he was able to get it when he actually had the right coaching. He was able to get to the championship. So do you think Dak, I mean, like Delilah said, is Dak the problem? Or can any of these guys get past the hump, get over the hump?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think how many times has Dak gotten to the postseason and he's out?
Yeah.
He chokes.
Right.
The team chokes. The team is out. Like, especially if they go against the big green machine of Green Bay. That seems to be their kryptonite. And they always seem to draw them first in the first round. So I think what's going to help Dak is when McCarthy plays out his contract and maybe they get a new coach and they get some new schemes and they get some new ideas and maybe even a better offensive coordinator for him. But right now, I don't see Dak getting over the hump with what's going on in Dallas right now. Yeah. And they're going to go through a big change because Dan Quinn just became your coach today. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of change going to happen in Dallas, more so than just offense, but the defense is going to go through a lot of change because they have to go to a different coordinator. So it might be a little bit of a rebuild, which it's probably a good thing Dan when he did because they're playing out McCarthy's contract. So Dallas is going to be a whole new ball game come fall 2024. And it will be interesting to see how they decide to draft and what Jerry Jones brings in to maybe help Dak get over that hump. But out of all 3, the only one I see best getting his ring would be Lamar. I think he's got the best chance in Baltimore. I don't see Josh Allen ever doing it because he's got his kryptonite, which are the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So the only one without kind of a kryptonite is Lamar, but I think John Harbaugh will have that team back in cooking in the fall. But the best one is Lamar. The second best is Dak. I don't see Allen ever getting a ring unless he goes to a different team.
Yeah. And Nicole, I know you've been following the Cowboys. I don't know how I lost you to the Cowboys, but it's okay. You got Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. These guys can get their teams to the playoffs, but will any of them get a ring?
You know what? That's a really great question. And I contend in being, what kind of ring are we looking at?
Right.
Just put out his new, with his new irons that were tailor-made, milled grind for wedges. That was quite impressive. You could jump into another ring, if you could say.
Yes.
I love you so much.
I went a little bit sideways with that, but I'm just learning about Josh Allen a little bit more. So that is a contender. Um, however, for actually not Will, Lamar, I think he was actually pretty good. Surprisingly, he's done a lot of leading up into these playoffs, which I underestimated the Ravens by far. So him coming up with that, I think he could make, like you guys said, a very good contender for getting a Super Bowl ring. That's for sure. As for Dak Prescott, that is definitely a different story. I think maybe if he had some different, coaches, a coach perhaps, I think that could help him out. However, he's been in the game for quite some time, and I fear that Dallas fan base is going to be a huge wave that might overtake his talent. And, even with the drama of last week, with all of that contention of extending his bonus or that they might have to keep him, something with Dallas like that, right? I don't know. But I do like Dak Prescott. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to say that like that, but
It's okay. We can mess his name up. I'm good with that.
no, yeah.
Sam.
No, I like those Cowboys, and he just needs to jive. But I feel like we are in the same kind of funk as same with the Saints. Yeah, I don't know if that could do it. They might be looking for something else, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, hey, and I mean, I think you guys hit it on the head. Number one with Dak, as long as Jerry Jones is in house, and it's not going to happen. Jerry Jones handicaps that team. I've talked to Janae about that time and time again. When it comes to Josh Allen, I seriously think the Bills just have some kind of dark cloud over. I mean, they were able to get to the next level, but to Delilah's point, as long as Patrick Mahomes is still strapping up a helmet, Lamar and Josh Allen, it's just going to be hard. Lamar, I think you guys said, has the best shot to do it, but then again, he just lost his defensive coordinator. So who knows what this team will be like next year? But it's going to be tough for all three of them. But I think out of all three, I think Lamar would be my choice. I mean, we'll see. I know he's the one I hope will get it.
Me too.
So. As long, and I told Janae, as long as Dak wears that silver and that blue, he will never win a Super Bowl.
We all know that star is a rating. It's not meaning that they're a great team.
Thank you. Yo, let's go. Yo, hey, come on now. Hey, look, we can do a little fantasy draft. Bring them all here. Bring them to Washington. Yes. We got to move on. This is, as we know, last week was a championship. Next week is the Super Bowl, but we always have that week in between. And what fills that? The Pro Bowl. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that might be just getting into football, the Pro Bowl that you see now, or that's going to be going on in the next couple of days, is far different from what it used to be. Going back to those days in like the 80s and the 90s, I mean, you talk about Hall of Fame players going hard as if this was an actual game. Now, obviously, they're not going to do that because of all of, the potential injuries. And I go back to that Sean Taylor hit on the punter, where it was just like, once he did it, they said, all right, no, we got to stop this. We can't have this guy killing our punter, for a game that doesn't matter for anything. So they've changed a lot. There's a lot more games involved. Now the game is flag football. Nicole, I'm coming to you first. I mean, this is more fan-friendly. Do you like this style of the Pro Bowl?
Yes, absolutely. It gets the players mic'd up and not, as in control of so much pressure that surrounds them, gets them in their natural, it's like in their natural element, but not without the, getting a kind of shine of light, and also too rub elbows. That's how we ended up with Derek Carr, I believe, because of the team captain and who it was at the time, and he was there and he was talking contracts. I don't know what. That's what I like to think. And yeah, I think it's really great. I've watched some of the YouTube videos of, like you said, with their skills and their throwing, and just seeing them smile, and it's being like from dropping the team jersey out of it. And some of these guys probably played college with each other and miss each
Mhm.
other, and saying and congratulating each other. I love it. I'm going to be watching.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't
Mhm.
wait. And Kate, I know a number of your players are represented here in
Yes.
this game. What are your thoughts of the new? As somebody that did, I know you grew up with your dad. You watched the older games where they
Oh
were
yeah. I've
killing
been
each
doing
other.
this
Yeah,
for a long time.
right. So as somebody that's seen the old and seen this, obviously this is better for injuries, and the guys just want to have
Mhm.
fun anyway. But what are your thoughts about it?
I just like watching them act like little kids out there and just have fun and just be lighthearted. And when they score a touchdown, they're going into big like blow up beds and stuff like that and doing little somersaults and just having fun because I think the season is grueling enough on them and grueling enough on their bodies, their mental
Mm-hmm.
health, their physical health, that to see them just like be able to like breathe and have fun with each other and just make it about winding down the season and everything. I like it. And yeah, I'm excited to see my Detroit Lions in the Pro Bowl and see how much fun they're going to have. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite one of my top 5 favorite Lions is in there with Amon Ra. So I love my son God. I love Jameer Gibbs. I love them all. So it's going to be really fun to see them just have some fun. And I like it. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. As much as it's fun to see the gritty tackles and the fun plays. It's nice to also know that they should end the season injury free and not have any
Mm-hmm.
worries going into next season, since injuries are not fun. No.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to injure a good football player playing a game that's an optional game. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
It's not for the
Right.
big money and for all the marbles.
Right. Right. And Delilah, I mean, same question to you, but I mean, I do want to ask this because we know what it was like when Walter was playing and the Monsters of the Midway and all that. It was extremely competitive. Will this still be competitive though?
I mean, what I saw last year, because last year was the first year they did this. They actually were going at it in flag football, and
Yeah.
every once in a while you could see that they wanted to switch to tackling. They couldn't. Like you could see on their faces, and they didn't understand. Like you would see, like when they would pull a flag. Like when I was a kid, I played flag, so I knew what that meant. That's the tackle, and so the guys were like, "What?" Like, so I'm okay with this. I agree with Kate. Yes, I understand that, but again, this was like the 80s and 70s, even in the 90s,
Right.
they were still going at it. But this was
Oh, yeah.
like, it's a different era. Every era is different. Everybody, progresses. And I understand why I had to move in this direction because players were getting hurt and then they couldn't play in the big game. Like those that actually went that made it to the Super Bowl. A lot of those guys would play in the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl. They just so that they could beat up on the other person, right? Like they
Mhm.
literally would just do it, and then they would get injured and they couldn't play, and so I feel like this makes it just more fun for them. I liked watching I like dodgeball, so I like that they added dodgeball. I thought that was hilarious because then they could be a little bit more aggressive, like
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
like take out some of that frustration. And I like that they added something for the kickers. Okay, they get overlooked, so I like the tic-tac-toe thing that they did with the kickers, and that they get to go out there
Trick
and
shots.
show off. Yeah, and they get to show off their skills. Like it kind of makes it exciting for them because people forget about special teams, and so you're like, you missed a field goal, and then everybody remembers why the kicker is important. So I feel like this elevates and shows the different skills from the different teams, and they do tug of war, and I just feel like they're like big kids, like who didn't play tug of war, and so they do get competitive, and I think that's what people don't realize. Like when you see them out there in these new skills, they do get competitive, and when they lose,
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
they're like.
They're not thrilled.
So even if it's not where people are playing hard-nosed tackle football anymore, they're having a good time and they're still really competitive, and you see it in their faces when they lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with
absolutely.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At the end of the day, like it's hard to justify a guy getting hurt when it doesn't matter, when none of this stuff matters. And the guys, this is their vacation. They want to go out and hang out with everybody. So now they have these games that they play, and I love that. Look, let's go through real quick. Now, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you see under me, she's a Saints fan. You see Miss Kate is a Lions fan. Miss Delilah is a Bears fan, and I am Washington. I think I might be the only one not represented on this list, but I'm going to try to go through and see some of y'all's names. Ex-Lion, DeAndre Swift, and Jahmyr Gibbs. He's on the list. Let's see. And Amon Ra, Sam Laporta of the Lions, Panay Sewell of the Lions. Dear God. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Lions. Frank Ragnall of the Lions. Okay, we're not going to say any more Lions. Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions. My God, did your whole team go? Let's see. Oh, hey, Montez Sweat. He used to be for us. Okay, I'll take half of that. Who else do we have? Demario Davis. Let's go. I see his face. Jalen Johnson, cornerback for the Bears.
Rashida Shaheed.
Oh, is Shaheed on here? Wait a minute.
I don't know. It says participants in the high stakes.
There you go. Well, I have a half a player, so you guys enjoy that. But it's still going to be fun. I can't wait to see all the other games and all the stuff that comes with it. So shout out to that. I can dig it. All right, we got to move on down the list because at this time of the year, there's only 2 teams playing, and both these teams are pretty set at quarterback. On the flip side, there are a number of teams that they need a quarterback. I am auditioning different quarterbacks myself, even warming up my arm just in case they need me. Okay, it's a new day. They don't know how good or bad I am. Who knows? Let's go. But there's a number of teams in this position: Washington, Chicago, New England, Minnesota, the Raiders, the Broncos, Atlanta, and Seattle. All of these teams are in a position, either they kind of have somebody that's either a free agent or on their last leg, or they have younger guys, or they just need a quarterback. Delilah, I'm going to come to you. You've seen those names. You know your team. You know, you have Justin Fields. Everybody outside of Chicago says, oh, you're going to trade him. You're going to trade him. I don't think you should. Nick and you seem to think it's stay. Do you keep him and build around him, or do you take the shot at Caleb?
I understand both sides. Like, you know what I mean? I actually understand analytically why, obviously, we didn't hire Cliff, who was connected to Caleb, why we did the whole switcheroo, right? Right? Oh, he's coming in an interview. And then the Bears were like, oh, psych, that's not who we wanted, right? And, and so with the choices they're making, it could go either way, in my opinion. Like, I could see them like robbing someone for picks, right? Yeah. Like to give them the first round pick, right? So I totally see them fleecing a team. But how much are these teams willing to give us? Because I know we're going to ask for something astronomical before you get the number one pick. So that's number one, right?
Yeah.
And so these teams, whoever it is, has to be willing to give us like an arm and a leg. Yeah. How many teams are willing to do that? That's what I need. Like, how many teams are willing to get? Because look what happened to the Panthers. Okay?
Yeah.
We had the number one pick because of the crazy trades that the Panthers made with us. We have their pick. That was going to be theirs. You know, and we have a bunch of other picks from them. So I don't know if people want to be in that same position again. You know, we're like, oh, man, we're last. You know, goes back to the Bears, and then we're back here next season. But I could also understand the Caleb Williams. Like, I'm not you, Kate and Sean. You're better at the college stuff. You know, y'all know more. You know how he played. And so a lot of people are like, he's like the next Patrick Mahomes, kind of how he's looked at. I'm not. I'm just saying. I am not saying that I don't know. But that's what is being said. That's that's not coming from me. That should come from all the sports people saying. And there's a heavy cloud over the Bears when we chose Mitchie and not Mahomes. And so I feel like that's also kind of with us. And the person that was with the Kansas City Chiefs who picked Mahomes is now our general manager. Like, you see how I could totally see him going, you know what, we're going to send Fields to another team where actually he could be productive, where he could fit totally in. Like, we'll trade him for some picks and draft Caleb Williams because we're actually hiring good coaches for once. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the part where I'm like, oh, we're actually hiring coaches. That's literally what we were upset about. I understand keeping Eberflus through this contract. So it doesn't mean he'll have he wasn't given an extension. So it doesn't mean he'll be here next season. But I understand why they're like, you know what, go ahead, play out your year. Because that's something else that was also critiqued about, a lot of teams. So like, oh, you're trading him away, in 2 seasons. You're firing coaches, And so I can see it going either way. And, I'm going to have to do what I always do and just follow along with the ride. Because I'm a Bears fan.
Well, thankfully, you guys will probably be the topic of conversation. The closer you guys will be the number one. Now, look, I got to go from one end of the spectrum all the way over to the other. Coming to you, Kate, I got to be honest. I mean, you live in Michigan. This isn't a familiar spot for you guys. A couple years ago, you guys were interchanging quarterbacks. Now you've got your guy. So when you look at this list, of all these teams that are in the position that you guys were in, who do you think is most likely to get a quarterback?
First, I think the team that I think needs to really work on where they're going to go is the Broncos, because they had all that drama at the end of the season between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. I think they need to figure out where they can put Russell, because it's clear that I don't think Sean and him can work together. I don't think they're going to have a good relationship, and that team desperately needs a good quarterback. So I think they need to figure out that situation. Like that one, when you listed the teams, that one came most to spotlight with me because I know there's so much drama right now. Because Russell, I don't think really wants to play for Peyton. I think he'd rather go somewhere else where he's wanted, where they'll use him, where he can hopefully flourish still in the league.
Where he doesn't get disrespected on the sidelines in front of everybody. Yeah,
exactly. Where he has a coach that actually likes him and wants him and desires to have his arm on his team. So I think the Broncos is such a tenuous situation right now with that I think they need to strongly look at what they're going to do with Russ and draft a really good quarterback. I mean, I could see like a Michael Penix at Denver, like throwing it, slinging it. I think he would fit well with Sean Payton and his system. I think he'd be a very coachable quarterback because he's been a very coachable quarterback under their former coach that's now at Alabama. So I think they need a young, hot talent like him to go there to lead that team. And I think they really need to cut the ties with Russ. So that team stood out to me because I know there's a lot of drama going on. And I think there's unsettled business there that needs to be taken care of with Russ so that Denver can get back to the promised land that it can be with Sean and make our Tina Winter a happy Broncos fan. So that's the team that stands out to me. But I think I don't know where they fall as far as their pick, but I think if Penix
you got a pretty good one.
I think if Penix is available, that he would be the right quarterback for that team. And I think he'd be the best quarterback for Sean Payton.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can definitely see that. And thank you to Delilah. I see in the private chat. We all know that Russ goes where Sierra says it's okay for him to go. He needs to go through her before he goes anywhere.
And Sierra's made it very vocal. She's very much not happy with how Sean's treated her husband.
Yeah. So, there it is.
Happy wife, happy life.
Amen. That's why I've been a Detroit fan the last couple weeks. Go Lions!
And how can you not feel?
We go.
Right. Nicole, I'm coming to you. I mean, so I have two questions. You see this list, but there's one team on this list that directly affects you. Our buddy Kyle Yacy, the Atlanta Falcons. You know, what goes on there? But also, I know you're not on this list, but are you guys set at quarterback in New Orleans?
Well, that is a very good question, Sean. And I would just like to say here, looking at Caleb Williams and him as a roster potential, and looking at the full 2024 NFL draft order, yes, Chicago has that first pick. And then again, there is Washington. Yes, Atlanta is number 8, and I do think that they are a contender, but I think that they would have to trade something up to get more up the ladder, if you'd say, if they want Caleb Williams. So I'm thinking also too, with Commanders and the new head coach Dan Quinn, I think they might be on their way into trying to get him on the squad.
I could see it. Or North Carolina and Drake May. I mean, it's all good.
Yes, we got Winston, and I think we might have to huddle about the Saints and what we're gonna do. We're not in the conversation for the quarterback right now. I think we got to focus on other things.
I can dig it. Yeah, obviously you guys know how I feel. I love my guy Sam Howell. That is my guy. I want him. I from North Carolina. I watched him from his freshman year all the way up. The dream come true for him to come on my team. But I am not foolish. I'm not going to sit here and just be blinded by my love for this guy. It might be time for him to go. Now we got Dan Quinn. We'll see what Dan Quinn wants to do if Eric Bieniemy stays. But I think we're in the same spot as Delilah. I mean, obviously not the same. She's one spot over us, but we also, in my opinion, should be fielding calls. Nicole, you talked about Atlanta, Denver. You guys talked about. If any of them are hitting us up like, look, we'll give you 2 first rounders, 3 first rounders, whatever. I think we should listen to that call. You know what I mean? And we might not get one of the Caleb Williams or Drake Mays, but we might move back down and then get Michael Penix. Kate, your boy, is he coming out?
McCarthy.
I was about to say now obviously. We'll see that now, obviously, but the other part about that is we kind of know where he wants to go. He wants to follow his coach.
Chargers.
Yeah, he wants to follow his coach. So
does Blake. They both are hoping to get drafted by Jim.
So, but even in the league, but even still, that's still something.
I don't see that happening with JJ just because he won a natty.
He's underrated, Delilah. He's underrated.
It's from analysts that I've been reading. Yeah, so he might.
I don't listen to the analysts.
This might be perfect, though. This might be perfect because you have a perfect situation. You already have a solidified quarterback in Justin Herbert. So if he wants to get JJ in there to learn the system, he has as much time as he can to mold him and everything. And then we could figure out, is Justin Herbert the guy?
There's going to be another Cade versus JJ in LA.
Well, that's it. Now, I will say Justin Herbert's a lot better than Cade, but JJ has the X factor, the head coach. So
and they're a package deal. We all know they're a package deal.
Yeah. So it's going to be the LA Wolverines from here on out. But
I can't be a Chargers fan. I can't.
Now look. So with this, we see all these different quarterbacks. You guys talked about who do you think could do it. Which of these teams do you think is potentially a quarterback away? Who needs a quarterback to be that difference?
Ooh, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So let me redo the names: Washington, Chicago, New England, Minnesota, Vegas.
New England for sure.
Minnesota.
I was gonna say New England sounds pretty good.
I think Minnesota, because they have a lot of good pieces right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it'll just depend on what they decide with Kirk Cousins. If they're going to keep him, see how he does after he's healed.
Yeah.
I don't see them dealing him, but that would be my bet is Minnesota.
Yeah. That's something I'm looking at. And another team, Seattle. I mean, Seattle was in the playoffs a year ago. You know what I mean? I know they have Geno and everything, but I wonder how sold they are on Geno. You know what I mean? And then you got Drew Lock there. So, and they got a new head coach too. So the same thing with Washington, where if the coach wants to go another direction, they might be in the market for a quarterback. So
I don't know. I don't know if they'll draft this high though. You know what I mean? Like
where's
I feel
their draft pick?
Yeah, I think that Seattle needs other things, you know, more important than that. In my
Where's
opinion,
their pick? Do we know?
Yeah.
Seattle?
They have a young defense that's good. They have solid wide receivers in Metcalf and Lockett, and then who's the rookie, the guy from Ohio State, JSN.
Yep,
they got him.
That's in
so,
the
yeah.
So they got number 16 in the first round. So they're
dead spot in the middle.
Yeah, they have a you know. So they're actually
not a very.
That's not a. I don't know. I feel like they could. They're going to be one of those teams that we might see move.
Yeah.
We might see move higher actually, or even. But I feel like Seattle has other problems that are more important than quarterback. I think they gotta really fix their offense. Not necessarily quarterback, but get some more wide receivers. You know, I love Metcalf. He's getting older. You know, I
need some linemen.
Yeah, you know, protect Geno from the pocket, or even Drew Lock, whoever. I just feel like they have other needs that are more necessary than quarterback at the moment. I feel like unlike the other teams that we're talking about, they can run with with Geno and Drew Lock. Like for now, they can actually run with them, you know, like just fine in tandem, whatever they want to do, kind of like the Saints do between their three quarterbacks. You know,
it works.
I just feel like I feel that they have other holes. I feel like the other teams, like especially the reason with ATL is because their fans are not sold on Ritter. Like we know Kyle and Anthony Handy, they're both Atlanta fans. They're not sold on this kid, and so I feel like they're a team that needs a quarterback more for their fan base. And I agree with Kate. I think Denver also is one of those teams that need a quarterback, but it has more to do with just the relationship is not, you know, I agree with that. Yeah. I just feel like there's other teams that are in higher need of quarterback than, you know, in Seattle. So, but we'll see. Weird things happen during the draft. I see things happen all the time, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I expected.
Everything that we're focusing on now could totally change.
Bo Nix is a good quarterback, too.
Well, and see, that's the other thing. There's a number of really good quarterbacks, and Jaden
could go later, right?
Nix. Yeah, you know what I mean? Sam Hartman, JJ McCarthy. There's a lot of guys that can come out, and you're going to get them maybe around pick 12, 13, 14, 15 down the line. So you don't have to spend so much money on the potential.
Right. You know? I mean, and look at what a rookie contract is. I would get a young hot quarterback, not have to pay him as much as someone who's seasoned in the league, and develop him.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good. I think Bo Nix would be a great person in Atlanta for some reason. I could see him there in that system. Yeah, he would be a very good quarterback, or in Seattle if they choose to do it, because he's used to like that area and they know his play, and so
we'll see. We'll definitely see. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be so much talk about in the next couple of weeks, obviously, because of all of this stuff. So we got to move on. One more topic, the stuff we know all of you wanted to talk about. The reason why everybody talks about football these days. Taylor Swift, ladies and gentlemen, she is in everybody's news. The cameraman pans to her more often than he pans to Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and all that stuff. Everybody loves it. But I do have to ask the question. And Kate, I see you have your heart. You're a bona fide Swiftie. Is Taylor Swift good for the NFL?
I think she's really good because it's getting younger girls and women to want to watch the NFL and become genuinely interested. I have some Swifties at work that I'm literally watching football games with on Sundays and teaching them about the game. And really, she only gets less than a minute of airtime when she's on. She doesn't get a ton of airtime. But look at all the Swifties that are out there buying Kelsey jerseys. She's generated $331.5 million worth of revenue for the Kansas City Chiefs this season alone between ticket sales, jersey sales, whatever they want to get their hands on. The Swifties are in full force. I'm a TikToker. I watch. Do you know how many influencers right now are covering the Chiefs, covering Travis Kelce, covering the Patrick Mahomes and Pacheco, and talking about these players? People that would never normally talk about anything football. Oh, and by the way, she's going to be in Baltimore. She's going to be playing the Ravens. They're going to be doing this and this and this. So it's got women actually talking about football. And why did I want a all women's football show? For more women to talk about football.
Absolutely.
It's an underrated thing in our country that not enough women are talking about football and watching football. So I think she's good for the league. And all your haters can go sit on the couch and just marinate in your hate, because I think she's very, 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 very good for it.
Oh yeah. She certainly just has to shake it off all those haters.
I love that.
Now I'm going to come to you in a second, Delilah. But Nicole, are you a Swiftie?
She wear t-shirts. She wears t-shirts. I wear bleachers. This or that. Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm on the spot with singing right now, and I apologize, but
let's go.
I do have to agree. It is quite amazing with getting more people interested. And as soon as you start getting interested in why maybe she might be interested, and then oh wow, all of a sudden this football game's really actually strategic, and it's a chess game that's really high level played, and it's like almost equivalent to Magic the Gathering, which has been a game for like more than 25 years. Then like
let's go.
Yes. So
bring the connection. I love it.
I don't know, like it is quite interesting, and as soon as you like inspire the younger generation are quite phenomenal with even researching and looking back into this. So getting people excited, I feel like they're going to have new records for this Super Bowl. And you know what? I don't know. I just enjoy watching them. And like RGB3 said, what kind of hater's going to hate on a couple being in love? Come on now.
Yes.
So yeah, love is love. Love it.
Hey, I do love it. And it Delilah, it's ridiculous to me. It really is ridiculous. You have these people talking about, oh, I don't want to see her. You can turn the channel. You can look the other way, because in reality, Delilah, she's not actually on there as much as these people are complaining about.
No. And I agree with Anthony Handy. Her presence has done more to bring women to watching football than all the half-hearted efforts, to bring women in. Okay, so I actually agree with you, but no, honestly, she's not shown as much as what people think it is. Like, there's been multiple articles and different reporters who reported on it. So Swift was shown on air 7 different times for a total of 44 seconds of the entire AFC broadcast championship game, which was over 3 hours, which accounted for 0.39%. Do you know what that is? Like, literally, you saw her eyeball maybe. You know what people were watching for? Jason Kelce. That's what they wanted to see more of. Okay? They wanted to see this girl dad, because he's a girl dad. That's that's the guy that he is. Him and his wife are hilarious. That's what they were looking for. They wanted to see if he was going to strip his shirt off again. But, you know, he's not going to do that unless it's below 0, because then it's not as impactful.
Yeah.
But Taylor, I think, is doing what any girlfriend who dates a football player, which is go watch her boyfriend play football. She just happens to be Taylor Swift. And I think it's laughable that some people are saying she's with him for his money. Do you know how much money Taylor Swift is worth? If anything, and Kels has his own money, it would be the opposite direction. Because she's almost a billionaire.
She is a billionaire. She's
see, I knew she hit it.
She's worth $2 billion right now.
See, I knew it. And so I'm like, you think about the money difference, okay?
Right.
Like, there's no way she's dating him for his $70,000 check that he got as a bonus. She probably just makes that now, probably is in her sleep. She's probably just generated an extra 70 grand on her own.
Yep.
They broke it down. She makes in one concert what he basically makes in a year.
She's not.
She's gonna be coming from Tokyo.
She makes in
Who's still performing?
Like she makes in a year.
Yeah.
Ticket sales and revenue from the merchandise and everything else. She makes in one night what he makes in 1 year.
It's starting to make sense now why Travis is trying to retire. He's like, oh, well, I could just sit at the pool all day.
No, you know what? Jared, you made a good point. Ciara would dance on the sidelines with her kids, and you know we know she could dance. Okay, she's one of my favorites. Ciara could move in ways that I'm like, listen, ma'am. And so you're right. She was bringing women too, young Black girls. You know, that's really important. And so, but I feel like because of Taylor is who she is, it's just the focal point is a little bit more harsh on her. You know, she's not married to him. Ciara's married to Russell. You know, so there's like a little difference in how she's treated because they expect her to be on the sidelines because that's his wife. You know what I mean? So like, it's just the way that it's treated. However, I have been watching again. There's a lot of young girls, and you all are missing out, who are learning plays, just like Kate was saying. So yeah, maybe the first time they decide to sit down and watch a football game for the first time with their dad, which for a lot of fathers, like, oh my God, my daughter's watching football with me, is a big deal because that's a way for them to bond. Maybe that was the first draw. But then they're like, oh, like Nicole was saying, you know what? This is actually kind of cool. And then they start asking what their dad questions. What's going on there? Why did they run? Why did they get sacked? Then they start asking questions. Then they become really intrigued by the game because they realize that it was more than what they thought it was. And then you know what they do? They Google and they look up the game to learn more about the game and to actually have authentic conversations. So while maybe for a brief second that was the draw, now I'm actually watching football games. You know, it was a Buffalo Bills fan. Buffalo Bills, they weren't even, you know, who said, yeah, I'm at a game when it was like, remember when they were shoveling out the snow? He's like, my daughter came and watched the game with me when it was like cold and we had to dig the snow out.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
That's how I bonded with my dad growing up because he was working so much. So I started, the first time I ever watched football was when I was a little girl and the Michigan Wolverines were on, and that's how I became a fan and started learning. And
so the funny thing is my mom was the one who got me into football.
Really?
I used to sit with my mom. Yeah, my dad, he doesn't care as much about it. I mean, he's into a lot of other stuff. My mom would sit every Sunday right in front of the TV. I was born September 26th at 9:05 p.m. She went into labor at 11 a.m. She said I didn't come out until I heard Monday Night Football's theme song come on. So I mean, it's in the blood.
That's really cool.
I would love to see that. She's pretty athletic. I don't know.
I know how much she'll pay somebody else to do it for her. She don't have to do that if she don't want to. But I think y'all made great points, and that's one of the reasons why I love this show so much because it emphasizes the inclusion. You guys all. You love football, but you all still consistently want to learn football. You want to research and do more work. if just like you said, Delilah, if you have these girls sitting watching the game, they'll pick up on it just naturally, just by being there. Even if they're doing nothing but trying to wait for Taylor to come on screen, doesn't matter because they're still absorbing all of that. And even if you don't get into the X's and O's, there's something that comes over you when the crowd roars and, you see your family members getting all hyped up. Then you're just like, oh, what are they getting hyped about? And all of a sudden you're wearing a jersey. It should happen in some families. My family never picked up a Washington jersey. I don't know why that is, but
I picked up the wrong jersey. I don't know how that happened.
Oh man. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our drama. We hope you guys liked it, and it was so much good stuff. And I know it got long, but it was fun talking drama with you guys. I always watch drama, but it was fun to talk with you guys. But what do we have next, Delilah? Oh yeah, the conference championship games happened, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, look, I don't know if it went the way you expected. I kind of went the way I expected, maybe not. I don't know. But let's talk about this one first. Delilah, I'm coming to you. The good, the bad, the ugly. The AFC, the Chiefs won it 17 to was it
10?
17,
Sorry.
10? Yeah,
10,
17-10. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. Talk to me about this game.
One, I know that people were sad because the Baltimore were the ones picked to move on. I get it, like they were favored, like Vegas, all this stuff, but they still kept Patrick Mahomes to 17 points. I just want to remind people of that. So it wasn't a blowout. It looked like it in the beginning, but I think it was just more disappointing. I think that we know Zay Flowers made mistakes, but he's like 21, and so I kind of feel bad for him. I feel bad for the touchback and the mistakes that he made because he's 21 and you can see it in his face, like, oh, I messed up, So I think that was the bad part was, to me, the offense in general. It wasn't, it wasn't just Lamar, and I exhausted that on Tuesday, so I'm going to do it again. But it was the offense in general. I agree with you, Sean, because I did watch the OG show on Monday. They abandoned kind of what made them so competitive. Mm-hmm. I didn't see any of that game. The O-line that protected Lamar all season was like scattering. He was like, I was like, what happened? How are the people getting through? They're lucky he caught his own pass, which I thought was, like he caught his own pass, guys. Okay,
yes,
yeah. That was ugly. So was the defense bad in comparison to what they were? Sure, they were bad compared to what they were all season. But to me, they did their job. The ugly was the offense as a whole and the play calling. I was really surprised at how conservative they played. Usually they played aggressive all season. They beat up on Houston. And I know people are like, oh, well, they had rookies. Like, no. Houston had a very competitive quarterback that got passes off of everyone all season, even though he was a rookie. Houston's defense stomped other teams that were supposed to be like better teams. So it's not not that out. So I just feel like I agree. The identity of the Ravens offense just went away in the game that was most important that could have got them to the Super Bowl. And I think that was the ugly. The ugly was the offense and the play calling. They just abandoned what got them there. What got them to the AFC Championship was like nowhere to be found. To me, that was the ugly part.
Yeah. Okay, what you think?
When you have a dynamic quarterback and tight end with Mahomes and Kelsey, you can't play light on them. You got to cover them. You got to be aware. Patrick Mahomes is what did I call him? How many years ago, Sean? Baby goat.
Baby goat.
Baby goat. He is baby goat. He's goat in training, and he is dangerous. He's a dangerous quarterback. He's really good in the pocket. He can run. He's athletic. He's smart. He knows when to get rid of the football. He knows when he should pass. He's very intelligent. And so the one thing I can say is the smarts of the Chiefs outdid the the stagnant offense and defense of the Ravens that game.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a dynamic defense with the Chiefs as well. You have Chris Jones, who's a very good player. You saw him pressure Lamar how many times and rattled him. And I mean, I just hats off to Andy Reid. The guy can coach and can coach well into the postseason. And I think Andy Reid outcoached John Harbaugh that game and had better schemes, had better plays. I was really impressed with how well they played. And like I said in the Super Bowl a while ago, when you have Brady and Gronk cooking, they're unbeatable. So when you have Mahomes and you have Kelsey cooking, they're unbeatable. They're the dynamic duo. They're the new Brady and Gronk.
Right.
And I'm sorry to Lamar and I'm sorry to the Ravens, but I just was like shocked at how bad that offense played.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cooking. They destroyed my Lions early in the season. I saw what they could do. I saw what they did all season, and it was just like deer in the headlights. Forgot what they forgot everything that they had played all season long. And hats off to the Chiefs, though. They are just they wanted it more. They were hungry more. They played harder. They played smarter. They played with more intensity and wanting to get to Las Vegas in that Super Bowl in that game. And they deserve to win. At the end of the day, they are the team that deserve to win because they played better.
Right. They are. And you know, you talk about, you know, Mahomes and Baby Goat and all that. Now that Belichick don't have a team, I think we need to start putting Andy Reid up in that category as best active coach for sure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Andy Reid does not get the credit in the league that I think he should get.
Which is crazy.
He is such a good coach and so well.
Yes.
He's so intelligent in how he calls his games that I really respect the man. You can't help but respect him.
Yeah, especially with a league going younger. I gotta say, he's kept up for a man in his 70s. Like, you know what I mean? We're going younger and head coaches for Andy.
To that point, Nicole, I mean, you know, everybody, like Anthony said, everybody was rooting for the Ravens, but when you have that Taylor Swift power behind you, the Chiefs can't. The Ravens couldn't match up against it. What do you think?
You know, the good was seeing that. You know, I want those Chiefs to perspire into the new Super Bowl with, like, you know, one of those Pokeball plays, one of those snow globe plays that I saw from the quarterback series. And now Mr. Andy Reeves is looking younger than ever because he's down with it and making those kinds of plays. So I thought that's amazing. I'm all for the Chiefs on fire. And the bad, I want to say, what was it? The timeout regulation, administrative timeout.
Yes.
With the drones, that was bad, man. Come on, know your distance with the drones and all, and keep your flying distance, your hands and arms in at all times, and know your spatial awareness.
Let me tell you, whoever did that got a giant fine. The FCC in this country, they're really strict about drones and where you fly them.
Next time my quarterback needs a break, I'm going in with a drone. Yeah, they're gonna need drones to protect the players from the drones. You know, and the ugly was, the Baltimore Ravens coming down there. That was, you know, really bad. I do feel they were so close, and honestly, I do think there's some potential. And seeing all of those mistakes that were made, but you are right, Delilah, and holding the Chiefs back that much is pretty substantial amount, and gotta give you guys hands off to you. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love all your points. For me, the good is the fact that in my lifetime, I've gotten to see three GOATs: Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and now Patrick Mahomes. And I mean, regardless if we don't like it or if we like it, or even if we're just jealous that he's not our quarterback, it's just this is great. This is greatness, and I'm glad I'm getting an opportunity to see something that we didn't know if we'd ever see after Tom left, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, he just passed the torch right on. You know what I mean?
He's only 28, y'all. He's only 28. I can't.
Right.
I can't believe it.
Right.
He's still got football to play.
I'm 40 years old in comparison.
Right. You know. And in my lifetime, I probably won't make what he's making right now. So I'm just gonna. For me, the bad in this one is just that composure. It was for the Ravens, man. I mean, everybody can jump on the Zay Flowers stuff, but let's not forget how many roughing the passers do we have? Clowney got him late. One of the other guys hit him late. What about the time when the guy jumped off sides and just runs over the offensive lineman for what? You know, normally they're like, oh, he pointed, and the guy didn't even think anybody pointed. He knew he was just in the wrong. It was little bonehead errors that the Chiefs didn't make, the Ravens did make, and that was bad. But ugly is what you guys talked about, okay? They had a stat in this game that said the Ravens passed the ball 82% of the time. They ran the ball 16 times in this game. You know, Delilah, you talked about, what was it, Gus Edwards, and those guys being good. Yes. I think Edwards had 3 carries for 3 yards. Yes. I think Hill had like 4 yards. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And on top of the fact that what I was always taught when I was younger, when you go to the dance, you dance with the one that brung you. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys talked about it. All year, you guys led the league in rushing. This is your identity. Mm-hmm. And to come into this game and not do that, it was ugly. It wasn't good football to me. And it upsets me because, you know, that's not what I expected from a Harbaugh. Then that's not what I expected from John, because John, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. We know that pedigree in that family is great. And that to me, it might have been the OC. I don't know. But to me, that one was kind of like, what are y'all doing?
And Lamar had 100 yards rushing in the game before this. I mean,
right.
Where was any of that?
Yeah.
That was all missing.
I agree.
I don't get it. Yo, look, let's move right along to the other game. Kate, coming right back to you. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm sorry, but you got here.
It's all right.
In the time, since the last time you played in this game, Washington hasn't gotten here. You guys have gone 0-16 and then brought it all the way back to the NFC Championship. First and foremost, on behalf of the rest of the league, shout out to Detroit. Shout out to you guys. But good and bad and ugly, Kate, what you think?
The thing is, we just lost our identity in the second half. We were cooking in the first half, and it's like we came out and we're like, oh, we've got this in the bag. I guess we're going to win. And we just kind of lost it. We lost everything. We lost our whole offensive identity, and like defense was just playing stagnant. You barely heard Hutchinson's name. He wasn't rushing Purdy. We weren't doing any sort of quarterback pressure on him. We weren't doing anything right that we usually do. I mean, it was just like where we like totally fell off on using Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in running. Jahmyr Gibbs can be a very good receiving running back and run. And he's so quick, and we just like, why weren't we doing that? Right. It was just like, I kind of want to know what Campbell and Johnson were talking about at the half, and where they thought they came out and thought they were going to like just bulldoze those 49ers. Shanahan made so many good adjustments in that halftime that we just looked so flat in that second half. I was absolutely shocked. But we put up a good fight. We tried to come back. Yeah. And if Dan Campbell, but he won't say he did the wrong thing, but he's gutsy on fourth down. Had we just put Bagley in and gone for the field goal, we could have tied it and gone into overtime. You know, there's a lot of what ifs on certain plays and certain decisions and play calling. I hope, because he's a free agent, I hope Josh Reynolds maybe isn't on the team anymore, because he dropped a lot of dang good balls that were thrown to by my man Goff. Dang you, Josh Reynolds. Dang
No.
you.
Thank you for keeping it PG, Kate.
And
I
I'm
know.
really hoping that Cam Sutton is no longer on the team because he's a detriment in our secondary, a huge detriment in our secondary. So I really hope Brad Holmes goes secondary and adds another edge rusher for Aiden in the draft. In Holmes, we trust because he's a dang good drafter. Look what he did with bringing in Laporta.
Real quick, shout out to Holmes, the first, what is it, GM that's out of an HBCU. He went to NC, A&T.
Right.
Shout out to him, doing big things, man. I love that.
Woo!
Good things in good spotlight being Black History Month. Because that man is amazing. I want to just put him on a t-shirt and put in Holmes We Trust.
Yeah, let's go. That's a great idea.
Let me just say, the man is good at the draft. People are like, why did you trade a pick? And what are we doing with Laporta now, Gibbs? And now you're drafting this guy, Branch. Why are we doing all of this? I don't understand this. And our rookie, Jack Campbell, our rookie class has been phenomenal.
Yep.
So I am just like, please get rid of Cam Sutton. Please get rid of Josh Reynolds. Get rid of those two detriments on our team. And get someone who can catch the ball and someone who knows how to cover Deebo Samuel, because Cam Sutton really screwed up in the second half with him. And so the bad was our defense, just our secondary. It's been our detriment all season. We do not have a very strong secondary. So that was the really bad part of it. The ugly was we lost our way in the second half and did not come out with the same intensity that we had in the first half with losing our rushing game. And the good was that we did try to stay in it and we didn't completely get annihilated in the second half. And I think that we learned a lot of lessons that game. We learned a lot. And I think Dan Campbell learned a lot as a head coach. And look at how far the Lions came.
Absolutely.
We were an 0-16 team one year, not too long ago. We were bad. We were really bad. And look at the resurgence of Detroit and look at how happy everyone is and how proud we can be of the Lions. And we got a good coach. We have a defensive coordinator that I think needs a little twitching and a little off the season coaching and maneuvering. Aaron Glenn's good, but he's not great. But I mean, Ben Johnson turned down your position, the Seahawks position, to stay with us because he believes in us, which is really phenomenal. We have an amazing head coach that I love with all my heart. Dan Campbell is that man, and I think he will get us to the promised land. I think we're going to win a Super Bowl with him. And can I just say the love of my life is Goff on that team. Goff and Penny Sewell. Penny Sewell does not get enough credit on that offensive line for how few pressures he allows, how few sacks he allows. That man is phenomenal. So, I mean, and I know we have to pay him and Amon Ra in the off season because they're up for contract renewals. So give those two boys some money. Keep me some Golf because I'm getting a Golf jersey. Not a Hudson. I'm getting a Golf.
Get it.
But there's my good, bad, and ugly.
I love it. Nicole, what you got? Good, bad, and ugly for this one.
The good was seeing that the 49ers are going to give Mr. Mahomes a run for their money with, in the other side of the division coming up with a 17-point comeback longest for their division, which Mahomes just did last year. So I think this is really good for the team, the 49ers, just to show that they can be in contention and they are well worth the time to be in the Super Bowls. And you are right, Kate. I got hats off to the Lions. They did amazing. I know it's just some of the plays of not going for that, that those points instead of trying to go for, getting the touchdown. And sometimes that can be a detriment looking back, but you don't know in those times at that time, and you wanting to go for it, and seeing just, that end zone. So that was my kind of take from it. Brock Purdy just came out of nowhere last season,
He did.
just in the very end with Garoppolo not being there for the 49ers. It's like, where did this kid come from? He's still so young. And like I said, it was a really, really good game. Still, it came 34-31. That was a really amazing score. So that's my take on it.
I can dig it. Yeah, no. Delilah, what do you think? And first and foremost, because I know you paid attention to this, talk about the timeouts because or the fourth downs, because I know a lot of people want to sit here and blame him for the fourth downs.
Yeah.
But this is what he did. In the first game of the year against the Chiefs on his own 30-yard line, he ran a fake punt. This is who he is. We can't just hate him when it doesn't work and love him when it does.
Right.
So what do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, he went for it, and I understand why he did it. But that was a regular season game, and so That's true. With a team like the 49ers, because they have so many offensive weapons, that's really the problem. I agree with Tina, and she said it on the round table. They have so many offensive weapons on the 49ers. CMC, who I love that guy. Good for him that the Panthers let him go because. My God, I'm sorry. No hate on the Panthers. I know they're on a rebuild, but I'm just saying, but he wasn't doing anything there. His talent was being wasted how it was. I'm not saying that's for the future, but I'm saying.
Our owner is terrible. That's my other team. Our owner is terrible.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. I know it is. That's why I'm like, look, he was wasting his talents there. And, and then you have Kittle, which I still love you're hilarious, Nicole. But Kittle as a tight end, I know he doesn't get as much love as Kels, but Kittle, man, that guy is dangerous too, because if Purdy can't get to IU or can get to Debo, he's got Kittle. Who comes with monster plays, and he had a great game. That he's also had a good game, and not necessarily he's not always the one getting touchdowns. He just opens things up. And again, CMC is very determined to, break some records, do the dad-son duel that doesn't happen often, right? With Super Bowl wins and the same coach, right? Because Shanahan
and McCaffrey.
There's a connection there,
I like it.
And so that was the good. I really do enjoy watching the 49ers play. I think the great above good is Purdy's story. I really do think that's awesome. Never give up your goals. This kid was picked literally last 262. And
look
at where he
Pacheco
is.
Just one slide over him or something like that?
Yeah, he was in the 250s.
Yeah,
and they were from the same draft class.
Right.
Same draft class. So all I'm saying is, he's a great story too. And I think the bad, again, I agree with Kate. I think that the Lions assumed that they had that game. I think that's really what happened. I think that they're like, oh, look, I put all these points up against the 49ers. And I think that was the bad, is that they assumed that that's the same team that they would be playing in the second half. Whereas Kyle Shanahan ain't that kind of coach. He makes adjustments. He's been doing it for years. I mean, that's what he's known for. And I think, Peyton Manning's right. Maybe Dan Campbell was eating some oranges, at halftime. He's in the bathroom, because Peyton Manning made that joke how no one does motivational speeches at halftime. That's where that comes from. Obviously, that's not 100% true. Because at Kyle Shanahan, he made adjustments. So. But yeah, I think that was the bad. I think that, Dan Campbell, because he's a gambler, and I think that's what happened. I think he overplayed his hand, as they say, and said, I am going to, I got this. And I think that's really what happened. I think they came out thinking that they had it in a bag, and that's part of the reason probably why he didn't go for it, because he thought he could do the same thing that what he did to Chiefs, he could do to the 49ers. And I feel that that's really what happened. But you got to put those points up when they're playoff games.
You have that shot.
Regular season, yes, go for it, because you got 17 other games. You know what I mean, to play. But when you're in the playoffs, you gotta put up as many points as you can against defense. Never underestimate your defense, right? That's what y'all tell me. There's like there's 4 quarters in football.
Yeah.
You gotta play to the very last second.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
anyway, shout out to the to the 49ers, Lions. Congratulations. I think Dan Campbell's your guy. 2 seasons ago, you guys were 3-13 with Dan, and they wanted to run him out of town.
Yeah.
But the Lions were like, no, it's because we had to make adjustments and get the guys that he needed, which they did. They did. And then they improved. They almost went to the playoffs last season, and so they made a run.
Seahawks.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, I think that you guys are heading in a good direction. So that's a good part of the Lions. But kudos to the 49ers, man. Great game. Kyle Shanahan, you are, one of his coaches, man.
Oh, yeah. He absolutely is. And though piggybacking on that, I mean, the good is the fact that, I mean, let's be honest. Delilah, I know you're my age. Nicole, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Young enough to be happy.
That works. and Kate, your cat's age, correct?
I'm 40. I'm going to be 48 this year.
Okay, 48. So
I'm old.
In our, you're forever young, Kate. You know that. In our lifetime, we have been able to see the Detroit Lions go to 2 NFC Championship games, and that to me is an amazing thing because, Kate, I know you can attest to this. There were some years in there where I didn't know if it was going to be another win. I didn't know if y'all were going to be able to get that. So that is a beautiful, beautiful thing that they were able to do that. And just to, like you said, Kate, rally the whole city around it. I mean, you got the state of Michigan following Harbaugh and the Wolverines, and now you got their favorite son, Aiden Hutchinson, leading the way, and he has had a hell of a playoffs run.
Isn't he great?
4 or 5 games. Yeah, he's been killing it. So that's the good. Unfortunately, I do have to go to the bad, and the bad was that second half. And the bad was the feeling that I kind of had when I saw the score at halftime, because unfortunately, and Anthony, I don't know if you're in the comments, but 28-3 came to my mind. It was just like, it was too easy. You guys dominated, and it's like, are the 49ers really this bad? And it's like, no, it's just a really long game. And so the bad was that second half. Like you mentioned, you didn't run it with your Pro Bowler Gibbs. You didn't run it with Montgomery anymore. It's like they took their foot off the gas, and it got ugly in the sense that you gave up the 17 points and then you're tied and everything. But the ugly for me isn't necessarily ugly. It's what could have been ugly. Kat went and went to go hang out and watch the game and do that stuff. And so when I went to once I saw what happened, I was preparing. So I made sure I cleaned up everything in the house, made the bed, had dinner ready, dishes done. And then once I got her, I made sure there were roses that were delivered to the door and all these things. I did because it was great until right before she went to bed. It was 24-7. How in the world? And I was like, oh, babe, I'm sorry. It's ugly. It's ugly, babe. I don't want to talk about it. But shout out to Kat and shout out to, Detroit. Talk about resilience. 3-13-1 2 years ago to 9-8 last year to this point where they're right at the doorstep going up against a team that had its own story. People forget about that. Purdy came this far last year and then got hurt. So this was that game for him. So it could have been ugly, but I'm so glad that you guys, all you guys, Detroit, you stood tall in this. And everybody was kind of applauding you like, this is amazing. This is what we want to see.
I mean, we brought Eminem out of the woodwork. He's going to all the games, and
that's true too.
He's cheering us on and being our.
We're all talking about lose yourself.
I mean, the Chiefs have Taylor Swift. I've got
Eminem.
Sorry. I Eminem and Taylor Swift, to be honest with you.
You're a Swiftie. There it is.
I'm a Swiftie, but
I want to
Eminem has had my heart before her. So
understood. But look, those are those 2 games. I know you guys will talk about the Super Bowl and all that stuff with Janae. So I'll let you do that. And I believe we have one more segment left.
But you need to like not give up and just try your best to persevere through whatever you want to reach, right? Whatever goal, whether short goal, long goal, whatever, just perseverance is key. And I know it's hard.
Absolutely. Perseverance is key and it is hard. But hey, the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to they that endure. And you got to keep on moving. Now, this is ladies have the final say. So in that means they have the final say. So not to be a man, but I do want to still give you all the final say. I'm going to go first so that you truly have the final say in this. And I'm going to use my time to come on, Sean, represent for the ladies. Yeah. I'm going to use my time to say thank you. I'm going to first say thank you to Kate, who came to me one day randomly in a group chat and said, you know what? We have a lot of women that love to talk football, and I think we should come together for a show. And I said to you, Kate, okay, make it happen. And Kate went and talked to Delilah, talked to Janae. We had Ash here. Now we've grown. We have Tina on the show. We've had Nicole. We have Nicole on the show. That is amazing in the sense that I love football. I love it, as you can see, more than most things in this world. It's gotten me in trouble in my relationship. I'm just going to say that. But what I love about football is that it's the inclusion. It's the greatest equalizer. Everybody from all walks of life comes to it for that same feeling. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. That same roar, that same excitement. And for me, I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in that time when it was men like football, women are cheerleaders. But like I told you, my mom loved football. My mom watched all the old highlights and films and all that stuff with me. So for me, it was never okay for women to just be on the sideline. No, women are as much part of this game as men. I know they might not be on the field per se, but they are as big a part of every facet of this game, and I love it. So when I come back to this show and see how amazing you do, look at Delilah with diversity with Delilah and countless number of episodes. I think we're over 65 episodes all time, and how much you have put in time and work and effort into this. And then I got to shout out Nicole. I have to shout out Nicole because Nicole, I'm gonna tell you something. You hopped on and you just kept it moving. You kept it moving. You learned every little bits and pieces there wherever you could, and you just are a hoot. You're hilarious, and you rock that daggone Saint stuff. So I got mad respect for you. I got mad respect. And I could not speak on this show without shouting out one of my best friends, my sister, my heart. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to move on. I was coming out. We were working at Mount Pleasant Church, where I'm actually at. I was coming out of the bathroom, wiping my hands with a paper towel, and Janae was talking to one of our coworkers. And Janae, she said to me, "You want to do a show, talk football?" And I'm just like, "Yes, heck, that's great. Yes. When do you want to do that?" It came from that in 2016 to now us having about 8 or 9 shows. We have shows where women fully run the show. The roundtable fully run. I don't have to do any of that. That is a testament to how amazing you guys are, but it's also a testament to my partner, Janae Strugger, who didn't find the crime to sit there and tell me, "Hey, I really want to talk football. Do you want to talk it with me?" And I never would have done it had it not been for her. And look where we are now. So I know that was a long time, but I love you guys so much that I have to shout you guys out because this show makes my heart smile every single time I see it. So there you go.
Thank you for letting me do it.
Oh, absolutely. I'll go under me right quick. Nicole, what you got?
Well, I got a lot. I had a little bit of a longer day, and I don't know, just sometimes being here with you guys, it really does warm my heart. And just like you said, talking football, and it's I don't know, it's the anxiety and the excitement of being with you guys and not knowing how the show's gonna go, but we're live, baby. And that's the thing. That's I think the exciting thing about it, that I truly do get excited for, and it definitely can turn my day around, and I'm just wanting to say, yeah, tune in to us because we can turn your day around. So that's what I got. I didn't have much, but because I wasn't in such of a, I don't know, I was quite solemn to myself, but you guys pulled it out of me. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. Miss Wolverine, Miss Detroit Lion, Miss Champion of everything. I mean, Tom Brady leaves, and all of a sudden you get this. I mean, good gracious, Kay, you get everything. But Kay, what's up, babe?
My thing is piggybacking on the Taylor Swift stuff we've talked about. Women, girls, don't ever let a man make you feel small. That's part of the reason I wanted to create a women's show, is because I feel like sometimes in the world of sports, Sean, you've never made us feel like this, but some men make women feel very small, and like their opinions don't matter, their voices don't matter in sports. Just go sit on the couch or go be in the kitchen and make us our snacks and all of that. So I really want to say thank you for letting us talk football and letting us have our voices and our opinions, because you always let us talk. And a lot of men don't
unless you talk about my team, then I have to jump on the
I
show.
have nothing bad to say about the Commanders. I'm not Janae. I'm sorry. But I will talk trash about the Packers and other teams, but not Commanders. I have no offense. But girls, if you want to talk sports, talk it. If you want to talk about football, speak it. If you want to talk about what quarterback play you think was the best in the NFL in the last week, or college or high school, speak it. And speak it even if your voice shakes. That is one thing my hero, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, always taught me, is to speak even if your voice shakes. Break glass ceilings. Women's places are in sports. I say that in our women's intro. I think women are very viable in this society. I think women belong in this field of sports. I love that Erin Andrews, I look up to her. I look at her and see what I should be doing better on this show. I look up to different sports women all the time and say, what could I be doing better? What could I be learning? I mean, women have a place in this world, and women have a place in sports. So girls, don't be small, and don't ever let a man treat you small. Be the strong, feisty woman that you can be, and be into sports if that is what you want to do, and talk about it. And don't let a man belittle your opinion. So that is my thing, is they're talking about how Taylor Swift is not allowed to be in sports because she's a singer. Don't ever let a man treat you small.
Right.
That is my ladies have the final say. Don't ever let, because this is a man's world, you have to be small in it.
Yeah. But a man can't get here without a woman. Come on now. We all came in this world the same way. We all came the same way. I love that, Kate. All right, Miss Host of Diversity with Delilah. What you got, Delilah?
No, I think, again, thank you, Sean, for bringing me on, creating a roundtable show during the pandemic, because that's how that happened. So thank you for bringing me on.
Had a lot of free time.
So thanks for that. Nicole, I think you're a breath of fresh air. I love your outlooks. They're always so different. And it's like, oh, why didn't I think about it that way? Like, oh my God.
The rings. I love
it. Oh my God. Thank you so much. You make me look at football fun, which is why I like the Pro Bowl. You make it fun. I'm like, oh, that's actually hilarious. Oh my God. Thank you for that. Honestly. You remind me how much fun the game actually is, even when it's really, I appreciate that a lot.
I agree.
I appreciate that. And, being on the show with Janae, I think she knows a lot. And Kate, I don't know anything about college, so you always help me. So do you, Sean, because I don't know. I try. So y'all, thank you both for that too, because I don't. So thanks for that. No, but I agree. Listen, real quickly. So I hang out at a sports bar in Chicago, and one of the servers there told me that when the games are on, or when they do the draft, because they do like fantasy games, and there's like a big contest, that she doesn't like talking about football around guys because they don't take her serious, or they don't want to hear her opinion. They're like, "Oh, what do you know?" And she's like, "I know a lot. Like I used to do like draft, the corners, and she used to do all this stuff." She's like, so I pay attention. When I say corners, so like that's gambling. So like you go to the bar, you can buy corners and get some money back. Anyway, so it's very low stakes. But anyway, so yeah, so when she said that, I said, no. To Kate's point, no, don't make yourself small. You go and you say what you know. Do not diminish yourself. And I told him, like, I go on literally like 3 different shows and I talk football and I don't care what people say. And I don't know who's watching me. It could be random people, but I'm still going to go out there, And so I told her, I was like, you know what? No, don't do that. You go and you talk football to all these guys here and don't ever let them treat you like you don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, yeah, I would know more stats than they did. I'm like, exactly. So show them that. Anyway. And the second part is, it is Black History Month. And I want to say that and I understand, like, if you don't want to go to the library, especially going to libraries lately with a lot of book bans and stuff. So, but if you want like a reliable source, the National Museum of African American History and Culture is absolutely phenomenal. It's in DC. That's one of my like checklists. Like if I'm in the DC area to visit all the different Smithsonian. So that's one of them.
Come on.
They have a really great like website of archives of and it's all credible. It's all reliable. So whatever you're reading there, and it's culture. So it's not just history. Like they literally show, as what Sean said in the beginning, the contributions of Black people just across the world, not just in the U.S. And so it really does elevate, and you will see, and you don't have to leave your house. Their Facebook is amazing. They have posts every single day around the year, because Black History Month isn't just in a month. It's just February is so that you can remember, like really focus on stuff, but you can learn about Black history all year round. It doesn't have to stop just in the month of February. So go to that Facebook page, go to their website. Honestly, they have amazing archives, and it's free to scroll it. You don't need a ticket. So like if you want to educate yourselves and learn more, I know that you're learning something that's like true, reliable. Their website and their Facebook page is phenomenal. They're always posting incredible things. They're always posting events they're happy. So if you're in the DC area, they always post events that they're happening that spotlight and highlight African American contributions throughout the year. So anyway, that's my final say.
I love that. And just to wrap it up on the Black History Month thing, a lot of people, when they look at Black History Month, it's like, oh, we're talking about this. Why do we got to keep talking about this? Yada, yada. We have to understand that the civil rights movement wasn't just necessarily about Black people. It was also about the inclusion of females and the whole equal rights movement. You guys, getting a say. So this show alone, the fact that it's minorities, the fact that it's females, the fact that it's people that you might not think, if you turn on TV, this is the people you're going to see. At least with everything we've seen, we need to make this normal. We need to normalize this. We need to normalize. People need to be coming to y'all and being like, I'm trying to figure out who to pick this week. What do you think? And you're like, well, the zone blitz on this team is doing that. That intrigues me. That excites me. That gets me going deep inside. Ask Kat. She can say sweet nothings to me all day, but if she sits there and she talks about some plays, woo, let's go. What you talking about, girl? Come on with it. But honestly, I think I love that. And tell her, Delilah, if she ever wants to come and talk, please feel free. But I want that. Let's give everybody that opportunity, man, because we all got something to say. And especially if we pay attention and we care about this, we need to be able to be confident and talk what we got to talk. But ladies and gentlemen, I found out I was hosting this show about a minute before, and I think it went well. I think we
we did. We had a good time.
We did.
Yes, absolutely. Look, we're not going to keep you much longer. We appreciate you guys being here with us. Tune in next week, Thursday before the Super Bowl. Janae Struther, my dynamic duo, my partner, will be back. I will be back in the comments. But you're going to want to tune in to what these ladies got to say, because somebody last year showed us a script and it kind of came true. So you're going to want to see next week what the script says. So for Delilah Crespo, for Kate Alberson, and Nicole Oppenheimer, I'm Sean Spencer. Hey, take care, people.